Hello everyone, my name is Patty Beck. This is my gardening channel, Patty B Gardening. I don't guess you could tell that from our setting today. We're still in the hospital. This is my mama.
Cyril Dean Miskelly.
Cyril Dean Miskelly. She had a heart catheterization and stent placement Tuesday. And this is Saturday. And we're still here in the hospital, but everything's looking good, and hopefully we're gonna be able to come home in the morning. So,
Counting on that. Keep your prayers going up for in the morning.
yeah, I think she's getting a little tired of looking at the walls, and so that's a good thing. It's a good sign. She's ready to get home. But anyway, she's been doing around this morning, got up, took a shower, washed her hair. We had to put our lips on.
We wear matching lips, in case y'all wondered. And the name of it is Cherries in the Snow.
That's what it is.
Cherries in the Snow by Revlon.
I think so.
Good lipstick.
Cherries in the Snow, yes.
And you know, we are all about some lipstick.
We get the lipstick from my mama. All the grandkids call my mama DeeDee. Her name is Cyril Dean, and when the oldest grandkid, Breland, when he was a little kid, he just started calling her DeeDee, and so it stuck, and now everybody calls her DeeDee. So we get the red lips from DeeDee.
Can't beat red lipstick.
That's right. Is that how you nabbed Daddy?
I think so. He did like my red lipstick now.
Yeah.
He mostly liked my lips.
Oh, she's being sassy. She's being sassy today.
I sure have missed him during this ordeal. Please help me through this. And I think he did.
Well, I think he's been right there with Jesus pulling for you. So,
I do too.
yeah, we're grateful. We're grateful to still have her here.
I'm grateful for my family. Very so grateful. Everybody's been so concerned and calling about me. And anyway, I'm going to pull through.
Yeah, she is. And we're here to help her do it. But anyway, we were sitting down here. I came back here yesterday when I got off work and spent the night. And we've been here today. We had a couple of visitors, Angel and her mama, Martha, and her Aunt Marie. They came and visited us. And we had a nice visit with them. And anyway, we were just sitting here kind of bored, and I said, well, let me do an interview. Let me interview you, Mama, for my gardening channel. And she said, oh, no. I said, well, we can just put some more lipstick on and it'll be fine. So that's what we're about to do. So I sent out my nieces and nephews, I sent them a request. I said, y'all text me some questions to ask DeeDee for a question and answer session for my video. So these are questions from, well, most of them. I have one that's not from the grandkids, but anyway. Being that my channel is a gardening channel, and I have developed this love of gardening as I've grown up and become an adult, because when I was a kid, I wasn't too excited about it. I wasn't too wanting to get out there and...
She wasn't excited about picking peas and butter beans.
Tell them what I like to do.
She liked to lay down in the floor in front of the TV, put her feet up on the bottom of the TV and put her arms behind her head and watch Sesame Street. That's why she got to be so smart. She watched every show of Sesame Street, and I bet she can sing it without fail right now.
Probably. I watched Sesame Street, and I watched
Something Rock.
you talking about Schoolhouse Rock?
Yeah,
I like those little cartoons, Schoolhouse Rock. Sesame Street, and oh, what was the other one? Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood and Zoom. I like that one.
Yeah.
And what was the one that was, hey, you guys?
I don't remember that now.
Is that Sesame Street?
She liked how a bill becomes law.
That was Schoolhouse Rock.
Oh, okay.
Electric Company. That was the
Yes.
other one. Electric Company.
Morgan Freeman.
I think
he was.
was
in
he
that.
on Electric Company?
I think so.
I think he was too. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, they were all good shows, and I like the heck out of them. And I'd rather be watching those than
I'd send them all out to play with their cousins, Brad and Scott and Noah, because I kept them till they were 25, I think. And anyway, I'd say, now y'all go play. Well, Patty wouldn't be out there 15 minutes till she slipped back in, and there she was, laying right in the middle of the floor with her feet up on the TV, watching television. And that's where she liked to spend her days.
Okay, well, I grew up.
Oh, okay.
And I realized that it's nice to be outside now that I'm grown. It's nice to be outside. I guess it's because I have it with my job. I'm inside for 9 hours a day, and I'd rather be outside. And so I learned to like plants and gardening and flowers and landscapes, and this year actual vegetable gardening. Now, where do you think I got that? If it's genetic, where did I get that?
Well, I like it too, Patty, and I liked it probably out of necessity more when y'all were growing up than in later years. But we grew a big garden. We grew butter beans and peas and corn and squash and just everything that you eat every day. And that's the kind of food we would eat, and we all grew to love it and still do. So now she's into that as much as she is the flowers. But now her daddy always was planting something, and she not that she was in there doing it with him, she was still watching the TV, but he did love it, and I think he instilled that into her. And he would pick flowers all the time and fix me an arrangement of flowers. Early in the spring when he'd start turkey hunting, he'd come home and have me the prettiest bouquet of those little yellow flowers, jonquils I call them, and I love them till this day. And he would always pick me some of them.
Yeah, and that was right around y'all's anniversary time too.
March the 21st was our anniversary, and he would gather a lot of them for me.
Yep, he was sweet like that, and he was good about. I remember him making the prettiest early spring arrangements using azaleas.
Mm-hmm.
You know, just cutting some azalea stems off the tree, off the bushes.
You remember that crabapple tree we used to have in our yard?
Mm-hmm.
It was so pretty, and he'd just go out there and cut some of those limbs off and just make beautiful arrangements with them. And I loved him then, and I still love him.
Mm-hmm. Me too. He was a Renaissance man. I would say.
Oh, no, yeah,
Most people wouldn't think that about him, but he really was. Okay, now here's some of the questions from the grandkids.
Okay.
Question number 1. Okay, they just brought supper around,
Yeah.
so no telling what kind of goodness that's going to be.
I know, but I don't think I'll be missing much if I continue on with this.
Okay, we'll get our interview done and we can check supper out in a minute. Okay, this question is from Jeb.
Okay, Jenny.
And the question is, what's your favorite flower?
Probably a jonquil.
I knew you were going to say that one. John. Good answer. And what's your favorite tree?
Dogwood or a crabapple
Okay.
tree. I love crabapple trees. They're so pretty. And the fruit on them is good. Not to just pick and eat, but to make crabapple jelly with them. It's good. Very good.
Yeah. Okay. How many peas have you shelled?
Now that will probably break a lot of records because not with my own little hands. Well, they were part of it, but we had a pea sheller, and for many years I shelled peas for I don't know how many people in Carroll County. They would bring them to me by the bushels, and I would get under the carport and shell peas in a big barrel hopper-like thing. You put the peas in there, and then you turn it and turn it and turn it, and then the peas will come out. Well, y'all seen them. Y'all know what I'm talking about now. But right, for a long, long time, nobody had those pea shellers but us. But we shelled millions of peas with that machine.
Okay, so you have shelled many a peas.
Mm-hmm. And it shelled butter beans too, but not quite as well as peas.
Do you think that people around our parts liked peas better than butter beans?
Probably. But they love butter beans, but it's just harder to get a hold of some butter beans. They're grow, the kind I like grows low to the ground, the little green, canned green, and it's hard to pick them, and they're harder to shell than peas.
Okay. Here's this question. Those were questions from Jeb.
Okay.
These questions are from Joe.
Okay. Joe Kelly.
Mm-hmm. What is your favorite vegetable to eat?
Well, I don't know. I'm such a vegetarian, so that's hard for me. Probably peas. You know, I love eggplant a lot. A whole lot.
Yeah?
But I love squash too.
Can't go wrong with any of them.
I don't know. Tomato may be a fruit.
My boys will tell you it's a fruit.
Okay, well, whatever it is, I like it.
Yeah, it's good. Okay. And you answered this question earlier, but Joe Kelly also asked, do you or have you canned food, like your vegetables and stuff?
Yes, I have canned some, but not as much as putting them in the freezer.
Oh, okay.
I have canned lots and lots of tomatoes. They're just better canned than they are frozen, I think. And in the wintertime, when you make soup with those canned tomatoes, you just can't beat it.
Mm-hmm.
And I've made stuff like soup stock. Now, this keeps a little better frozen than it does in a jar, because if you put some corn in it, it's soup stock. And I would always put corn in it, and it's a little harder to keep your jars from going bad. But it's very good. Tomatoes, maybe some onions, bell pepper, some corn cut off the cob, and okra, and maybe some bell pepper. Anyway, it is really, really good in the wintertime.
Well, you probably wouldn't have to worry about it going bad around our house, because I imagine we could work through it pretty quick.
That with about 3 big skillets of cornbread.
She's a great cornbread maker. And I'm not a big cornbread fan, but if she cooks the cornbread, I just about got to eat it. And you're going to have to teach me how to make it like you do, Mom, because I've tried before and I can't get it. What's the key to it? Just having a cornbread skillet?
I think so.
One skillet specifically for cornbread?
Yeah, I have a black iron skillet that I use all the time. I have used it, I guess, all my married life. And, you know, if you've made it as much as I have, you don't even need the recipe. You can just go in there in the dark and make it.
Well, that's what I need, is some more practice, I reckon. Okay. I remember one time that you canned a lot of, hey.
Checking on you.
Well, come on, you want to get in the video?
In what video?
The video we're making.
This is Patty B. Garden.
This is our nurse.
That's great. That's awesome.
Yeah, we're talking all about vegetables and how she used to can and how she cooks and how great her cornbread is.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah. So,
too cool.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'm gonna have to watch it in a little bit.
You will.
How are you doing though?
I'm doing good.
You're doing
great.
okay. Okay.
And 2, go.
All right. So, oh yeah, I was saying, I remember one year we were living in the big white house.
Yes.
And you did a lot of canning, and you canned a lot of tomatoes, and you canned a lot of string beans. And those canned string beans are delicious. What do you do to them to can them that makes them so wonderful? So much better than frozen. Is it the
Well,
vinegar?
I think so. My mother taught me to can them with using vinegar. You get your beans ready, snapped and strung. We call it. Has a little string on it. You pull it off, and it makes the beans better. And you put them in your big pot, and you cook them. So much water to so many quarts of beans. I can't remember exactly now. You put that in there, and then you put some sugar and some vinegar, and I think a little bit of salt even then.
Probably so, yeah.
And I would always cook mine a whole lot.
Cook them down even?
Not all the way like that. I'd cook them a good bit, and then pack them in my jars, and then I put them in a canner, processed a thing, and cook them in jars some then, and that is to ensure more likely that they won't go bad, they won't run. And then you just, now some people that do that, when they get ready to cook them, they'll take, loosen the lid on it and pour that juice off and rinse them, but I don't do that. I cook it with that vinegar juice on it, and that's the part that they've grown to love over the years.
Yeah, really,
So.
really good. But yeah, I remember that, and you had them all stacked on the shelf in the kitchen there, and it just looked like it was so pretty. It should have been in a magazine.
Yeah.
Should have been in Southern Living magazine or
That's
Country
right.
Living magazine.
Exactly.
Yeah, those were pretty.
I made a lot of crabapple jelly or plum jelly, and I'd have that in there. That was real pretty.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Okay, here's another one. What would be your dream gift to receive? This is from Joe.
my dream gift. Probably a brand new kitchen.
Oh, yeah.
Even at my ripe old age that I've got, that I've been blessed to live to, I have a all right kitchen. It suits me fine, but I do love kitchens, and that would be wonderful to have a dreamy kitchen.
Dreamy kitchen.
Right.
All right. Here's another question from Joe. What is your favorite meal?
Oh, well, I would probably want some butter beans and peas. Some fried chicken, if I had to have a meat, but I really wouldn't have to have a meat. Fried okra, and I have a preacher friend who really loves my fried okra, any fried okra, I think. And I've cooked it for him several times, and every time I talk to him or see him, he asks me how's my fried okra coming. So anyway, it is really good, and I love it. And fresh tomatoes, onion, fried okra. Oh, and we can't leave off the field corn. It was good. Can you tell why I'm down here having heart surgery?
Well, you know, you gotta live.
I know. I guess I've lived awfully big because I think my heart was pretty blown up. But
Well, it's
we're gonna get it going back right.
That's right. That's right. And we don't eat like this all the time.
No,
It's just
just as
if we're lucky enough to be able to, we
Just-
sure enjoy it.
just as regular as we can, and just according to how well Mama's feeling, to get it all cooked for 'em.
That's right.
Because when I cook Sunday dinner for everybody, it's about 20 or 21 of us, and I have to use some pretty big pots.
Well, now, as we've gotten older, as we've grown up and become adults, we all contribute some to the
Exactly.
Sunday dinners too.
But there was years that I cooked Sunday dinner every Sunday, starting with them, and then as they got married and had children and they grew up, it just grew and grew. So we would have a good many sitting around the dinner table. And I can't remember what year Pete made my table, but he got into making different tables, just different shapes and sizes, and would give them to the girls. So anyway, I told him one day, I said, Pete, why don't you make me a table? He said, okay, I will. Well, he worked on this table out in his shop for I don't know how long, and it is very pretty. It's one of my prized possessions, and it will seat 10 easily. One side it has a bench that he made that goes with it, and then it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and at least 5 or 6 on that bench, so it seats a good many.
Yeah.
But it's very pretty. He sanded it, hand sanded it, and anyway, it's just a real pretty table, I think.
I'll go down there one day and show y'all. I tell you what we're gonna do. We'll have a cooking at Mama's house, and I'll video it, and y'all can come along, and I'll show y'all the table when we get down there. Okay, this is a question from Ava, and it goes along with the fried okra you were just talking about. Her question is, how do you fry your okra so good?
Well, if it's fresh okra, it's even better, I'm sure. I just, when we were growing vegetables, most of the time Pete went to the garden and gathered the okra, and I would bring it in and wash it off and cut it up into little strips.
Like little circles?
Right, just in circles. And then I would mix meal and a little bit of flour, not much flour, and some salt and pepper in a big bowl, and put my okra in there in increments of, how much it would hold. And just take my hands and do it around like that. And then I would put it, I have a non-stick skillet that's good for cooking okra, and it's really big skillet. And put a good bit of grease in it. Now, they don't like for me to say a good bit of grease. They like to know how much. But I can't tell them how much. I just have to put it till I can see it, and I think it'll be enough. So I fill that skillet up, and then I kind of put a lid on it and let it kind of steam and really start cooking, get done. Then I'll turn it, flush it all around in that skillet, and it begins to get crispy. And you just turn it several times until it's real crispy. Then you take that out, drain it, and then you can put some more okra in there, add a little more grease, and put another several handfuls of okra in there, and it is good and gooder.
I can testify, it's good and gooder. Good and gooder.
Good question, Ava.
Yes. Okay. And I think we'll end our little Q&A with this question, which will then have to lead into a follow-up at your house, doing some cooking and eating.
That will be good.
You'll have to guess who suggested this. Okay. Tell us how to make smushed up potatoes, pinto beans, fried chicken, cornbread, and slaw. My favorite meal. Who do you think said that?
Well, I would probably say
Pinto beans?
Yeah, Mandy.
Exactly.
And I still am a big pinto bean eater. And when I was a little girl growing up, sometimes Mother would ask us, what do you want me to cook special for y'all today? And I would say, oh, Mother, I want some pinto beans and cornbread. And they'd say, oh, Cyrildine, you don't want that old stuff. We eat that all the time. I'd say, well, that's what I want. That's what I like, and you cannot beat it. Over the years, I've learned about putting rotel tomatoes in them, and that's really good, too. Can of rotel tomatoes, and it is fine.
Good eats. Oh, no, we hadn't even looked at that yet. We'll get it in a minute. Thank you. So, pinto beans, slaw, cornbread, what we call smushed up potatoes, and fried chicken.
Right.
And that's Mandy's favorite meal.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe our next get together, we'll all have to get together and cook that together down at your house.
But now they all love it. They request that lots of times. Joe Kelly does, Bailey does, Ava does. They just really, and those smushed up potatoes. And that's
my favorite way to have them.
This is what we call smushed up potatoes. I prefer to use red Irish potatoes. Peel them, wash them, and cut them up in circles, about like that. Just not real Not real thick, not real thin.
A little thicker than a potato chip,
Yeah.
but not real thick.
Anyway, I do the same thing as I do the okra. I put it in a big bowl, and I put, I mix a little flour and a little meal in there. And most of the time, I'll cut up some onion in it. Put my grease in the skillet and get it hot. Then I just put the potatoes in there, and I put a lid on them so they can get very soft. Yeah, and get done quick. And as they begin to, I call it scab over. Really,
Yum.
Real interesting for eating, isn't it? Anyway, it'll begin to get
Make a crust.
Make a crust on it, and you turn them, and then they'll be crusty, and then you take them out and drain it. And for our family, I do that 3 or 4 times, skillets full of potatoes, if we're gonna eat that, and probably 2 pounds of pinto beans, a whole cabbage to make the slaw, and what else was that? Oh, something else is good to go with that is a peach cobbler pie. Peach cobbler.
Mm-hmm.
That is another good thing with lots of sweet tea,
Ooh, yes, sweet tea.
onion, and cornbread, and it's good. It is good.
Good and good.
Like I said, that's probably why I'm laid up here in this hospital bed. Oh, man.
But, yeah, good times, good memories
Right,
around the table for sure.
Right.
And many more to come.
exactly. Thank you, Patty.
All right, I love you, Mama.
Y'all can keep this forever and forever and a day, and look back on this one day and say, "Oh, Mama, do you remember us doing that at the hospital when we were bored to death and was ready to come home?" But it was fun. I
It
enjoyed
was. All right.
I enjoyed it.
I think you're going to be a hit, and we'll get back to your house in the kitchen.
Y'all watch these now and send me some comments. Trying to rev us up some business.
Yeah, we're trying to get some business.
Yeah.